Creating a website as a service business can be very rewarding, but it can also be a little confusing and stressful to get started. WP Ultimo makes this process a little easier with their all-in-one WordPress multi-site plugin. All you have to do is install it on your multi-site network, get it set up, and you're good to go. In this tutorial, I'm going to go through the entire process of setting up a WP Ultimo website as a service network. First, we'll buy hosting and install the plugin. Then we'll set up domain mapping, connect a payment gateway, and make some discount codes. We'll go over site templates, products, and checkout forms. And to finish up, we'll test the network as a customer to make sure everything is working correctly. Let's get started. First thing we have to do before we do anything else is to buy our hosting. Now, I like WPMU Dev for multi-site hosting. They are really good at it. It's something they specialize in. Also, I know it's one of the suggested hosts for WP Ultimo. It's one of the hosts that WP Ultimo integrates with really well. So your domains are going to sync automatically and SSL is going to connect automatically for your subsites. I'll show you that more later on in the video, but I really like WPMU Dev. So that is the host that I'm going to use for this tutorial. So if you click the link in my description, you'll come to this page. To get started, you can either put in your email address right here, or you can click sign up and then go ahead and put your name, email address, password, agree to the terms of service, and click the sign up button to sign up. And that's going to bring you to a page where you can pick your plan. Now, this is specifically for the WPMU Dev plugins and some other features, but this isn't hosting. So let's just go ahead and keep it at the starter free plan. So when you click this button that says current plan, what it's going to do is it's going to bring you to your hub. And from here, you can create a new site that's hosted with WPMU Dev. So to do that, click the add site button up here. And then you're going to see an option that says create new, create a brand new site hosted with us. And then you're going to click the create site button there. Make sure create a brand new site is selected and then click the arrow. And then go ahead and pick your plan. Now, if you're wondering which plan to pick here, let me tell you a little bit what I'm thinking. So right now I am just creating this network. So since I'm just building it and there's going to be nothing really going on as I'm building, I'm going to keep it at bronze. But be aware, as your network grows, you will have to upgrade this to the better hosting plans so the server can handle your network. But, you know, if you need a network that is going to cost $250 a month, you should be making enough money to, you know, make that worth it for you. You should have enough customers that is an easy price to pay. But I'm just starting out, so I'm going to stick with bronze. If you're just starting out, I would suggest sticking with one of the lower plans too, and then just upgrading later. So choose your plan and then click the continue button. Next, we got to choose how we want to do backups. So if you have a network of everyone's site, I feel like hourly backups are a great thing to do. But again, this is something you can upgrade later. I'm going to keep this as free for now, but I'll probably upgrade it later. So when you pick that, click continue. Next, you're going to put in a temporary URL. It's really not a big deal what this is going to be because we're going to connect your custom domain name later, but you probably want it to match something that your business is and what your domain name is. So go ahead and put that in and then click the arrow to move forward. Next, you're going to create your WordPress admin account. So go ahead and put in your email address, your username, and your password. Note in this one, I have the username as admin. Don't do your username as admin. It's not super secure. Pick a different username. And then when this is done, go ahead and click the arrow again to move forward. Next, we're going to pick the server location where we want our site hosted. You're going to want this to be the location closest to the majority of your visitors. If you're not sure where that's going to be, you can just pick the one that's closest to you. And for me, that's going to be Miami. And then you can click the arrow to go forward to the next thing. And then it's going to confirm your plan and your pricing. This might be a little different for you than me because I already have an account set up. So it's just going to bill my card I have on file. You might have to put in your payment information here. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure you guys can figure it out. If you're confident enough in your technology skills that you're doing this tutorial with me, I feel like you can figure out how to pay for this. So once you have that done, click pay and create site. And then you're going to get a little notification that the site is being created and they're going to send you an email when it's ready. So let's go ahead and come back when that's done. And that's done. The site has been created, and for me it's right on the top of my list. So I'm going to go ahead and click the name of my temporary URL to go into the settings. And the next thing we have to do is we have to set this up as a multi-site website. So to do that, we're going to go to hosting, and then we're going to go to tools, and then we're going to find where it says multi-site, and where it says off, we're going to click it to turn it on. Now, the first thing we have to figure out here is if we want a subdirectory multi-site or a subdomain multi-site. Now, in most cases, when setting up a multi-site, you're going to want to use subdirectories. For me, personally, when I'm working with WP Ultimo, I think it looks way better to have subdomains. Again, subdirectories are suggested, but I am going to go ahead and choose subdomain here. And I had a feeling it was going to do this. When you pick subdomain, it gives you a warning to not do subdomains unless it's absolutely necessary, because there are SEO and performance implications to consider. You can feel free to click that learn more link to learn more. I'm just going to go ahead and click close and then click continue with subdomain still selected. Next, it's going to ask you to confirm that you want to convert this to a multi-site by typing convert. So do that and then click confirm and convert. And then we get a little notification that it has successfully been converted to a multi-site network. So that's great. That's done. Next thing we are going to do is hook up your domain name. Now, this is the main domain name for the network. This isn't like the domain names that are going to get pointed to the subsites. We'll talk about that in the domain mapping section. So you should have already purchased a domain name. If you haven't, you have to purchase it separately. Right now, as I'm recording this video, a weird thing is going on because Google Domains is getting ready to sell to Squarespace, and I usually suggest Google Domains. I don't know who I'm going to use for domains from now on because I'm not going to use Squarespace. I might use WPMU Dev for domain names. I haven't made that decision yet. So I'm going to show you this video to connect a domain name that I bought on Google Domains. Wherever you bought your domain name, it'll be a similar situation. Every domain registrar is going to let you edit your DNS settings. So I'm confident that as I show you through my Google Domains account, you're going to be able to figure it out through whatever registrar you're using when you're seeing this video. So with that being said, I have on another tab so I can switch back and forth easy my DNS settings for my domain name on Google Domains. And now I'm going to pop back to the hub, and then we are going to add this domain name by clicking domains. And then we're going to click add domain. And then you're going to put your domain name there with no HTTP or HTTPS. I'm going to select yes to also add the www.version. Not a lot of people put www anymore, but just in case they do, I am going to deselect where it says to add the DNS records, because usually I like to manage the DNS records where the domain is registered. I could go into a whole thing why, but like I don't want to waste your time listening to me rant about that. So you're welcome to manage them with WPMU Dev if you want, but I'm going to uncheck that. And note that when I do, it says that managing DNS elsewhere may result in downtimes during system upgrades. That means if they ever change your IP address on your server, that the domain name might go down. But again, I'm not really going to care about this too much, because here's the thing, especially in this situation, if the IP address changes on the server where this network is, it's going to be a problem anyway, because our customers are going to have domains purchased at all sorts of different registrars. So they're not going to be managed with WPMU Dev, most likely. So we're just going to, I'm going to uncheck this, because even if, you know, if it's going to be a problem later, it's going to be a problem later, no matter what. So I'm just going to click continue here. And now that that's done, it's giving us some DNS records to point the domain name to our new site. So let's do that. So first thing, let's copy where it says CNAME record. We're going to copy your temporary URL that's there. And then we're going to go back to your domain name settings. For host name, you can just put, for this one, it's an asterisk. Put the type as CNAME. Put the TTL as 10 minutes, and then just paste your data there and hit save. Pop back to your hub so we can add the A record. Hover over your IP address and then click copy. Pop back to Google Domains. Click Manage Custom Records. Click Create New Record. For this, we should be able to just leave the host name blank. Put the type to A. Put the TTL to 10 minutes. And then paste your IP address under data. And instead of hitting save here, I'm just going to click create new record. And then this is going to be the AAAA record, I believe. 10 minutes again. And then let's pop back to the hub to get that information. Hover over that, copy it again, pop back to Google Domains, paste it there. And then we've got one more to do. Go to create new record, go back to the hub. Now this one is CNAME. This is optional for wildcard SSL certificates. This one is very important. You definitely want to do this so the SSL certificates create for each subsite that is created on your network. So hover over for what it says your host name is and then copy that. Go to Google Domains, paste it under host name. And this is going to be a CNAME again. Put the TTL as 10 minutes again. Go back to your hub. Hover over and copy the record, back to domains, and then paste it there under data. Then click save. And then go back to your hub, and then click close. So right now we have some icons here that look like things are not working well, and they're not yet. You kind of just have to wait a little bit for this to set up. It says it can take 24 to 48 hours for the DNS to fully propagate. In general, that's not the case, especially if you're using a pretty decent domain registrar. So we're just going to give this about an hour or so and then come back and make sure everything is connected. Note that with WPMU Dev, the DNS status is going to connect first, and then the SSL status will connect after that. So go ahead, grab yourself a snack or something and pause this video and then come back later and we will keep going. Okay, so here I am back. For me, it's been about 2.5 hours. So let's see if things are working now. So to recheck the DNS status of both of these domain names, hover over the 3 dots. Well, click the 3 dots and then click recheck DNS. That's gonna do a little swirly and it's gonna recheck and it is pointed. So they are pointed, but it looks like the SSL status still isn't good. It looks like we're gonna have to give that a little more time. So I'm gonna give that a little more time and then come right back. Okay, so I came back. It's about 2 hours later and we have beautiful green check marks for everything. I do want to note that I did have to refresh the page, and for the www version, I did have to click the 3 dots and go to recheck DNS, which isn't there anymore because everything is good. But that did give me green check marks all around. So the last thing we have to do here is set our primary domain name, and I want the version of my custom domain without the www to be the primary. So I'm going to click these 3 dots, and then when that loads, I'm going to click set as primary, and then it's going to say, are you sure? And I am sure. So then I'm going to click the set as primary button. And that's it. It's done. Our custom domain name is now the primary domain name. So the next thing we're going to do is hop into our admin and make sure that the multi-site is set up good. So hover over this WordPress icon and click that. And then here is the regular WordPress admin. So go ahead and put in the username and the password that you created when you set up your hosting account, and then click the login button. So here we are on the dashboard, and I can already tell that everything is good because it says network admin up here, and you have it show a drop down that lists all of your sites instead of just your one site for a single WordPress install. And then this one here with your custom domain name is going to be the main site of your network. So, okay, next thing, let's get WP Ultimo installed. So if you click the link in my description, it's going to bring you directly to this page, and then you can click the Get Started button. So now let's talk about plans and pricing. The really big thing here for me is the add-ons. The premium add-ons are really, really important and good. So let's click add-ons up here, up the top. And you can see here, these are the add-ons for WP Ultimo. And if you check category, it shows you all the different categories. And if you click premium, it's going to show you exactly which add-ons count as premium. Now these are really, really good. Specifically, I think like the affiliate WP integration is great. And I think the support agents integration is great because as you grow, you're going to want to throw other super admins in there to help you out. So for me, when I'm picking I have a lifetime agency package. But if I was deciding which one to choose, I would probably choose at least the Plus or the Pro because of those premium add-ons. It kind of depends on your needs. Maybe you don't need them. So after you pick whichever package you like the best, just click Get Started. And this is going to be, a form that you fill out like you buy any plugin. You guys don't need me to walk you through this, which is good because I already have it purchased, so I'm not going to buy a new one. So go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to show you how to download the plugin through your account. So after you purchase the plugin, you should get an email that I'm pretty sure has the link to download and your license in it. If for some reason you don't get that, you can sign into your WP Ultimo account, which you would get to by clicking Account and then clicking to log into the new system. And then from here, obviously, to download the plugin, click Downloads. And then at the time of this tutorial, we're at version 2.13, so I'm going to download that. And then it might also be giving you an option to copy your license key here, which you can do. For me, for some reason, it's not showing up, so I'm going to click Done. And I'm going to go to licenses over here on the left. And then I'm going to hover over key and then click the little copy symbol here to copy my license key. Next, we'll go back to our WordPress dashboard. And then we're going to install this plugin like we always install plugins. But remember, since we're on multi-site, we do need to be in the network admin to install any plugins. So make sure you are there and then go to Plugins, Add New. And we are going to upload a plugin. So click Upload Plugin. Let me just dismiss that so that's out of the way. And then Upload Plugin. And then I am going to drag the plugin folder right there. And then click Install Now. Note that this plugin did take a little while to install. It's pretty intense. Don't worry, I didn't make you guys sit through the whole thing in the video. But if you have to wait a little while, don't worry. Just give it some time. And then go ahead and click Network Activate when it is done installing. And now we have a Get Started setup wizard. So let's go through that. Click the Get Started button. And now it's going to do some pre-install checks. If you guys followed my tutorial up to this point, everything should be good. So go ahead and click Go to the next step. And then we are going to paste your license key that you copied from earlier. And then click Agree and Activate. Now we have to install some things to get WP Ultimo working correctly. So just click Install. Next, we're going to add in some company info. This is pretty self-explanatory. Just put in the information about your company. And when you're done with that, scroll down and click Continue. And now you have the option to install default content. I am going to do that just to make sure everything is done very easily. And then we can just make changes instead of starting from scratch. So I'm leaving everything checked and then clicking Install. And there we go. WP Ultimo is all the way installed. So go ahead and click Finish. And now let's start customizing things. First thing we are going to do is set up domain mapping. What domain mapping is, it's a WP Ultimo feature that allows your customers to point their custom domain names to their subsites. This is obviously a really valuable, important feature for them. So it's the first thing we're going to set up. Now, this isn't super complicated. I will be recording a more in-depth tutorial that I will link in the description below. But it's really easy. We're just going to change some basic settings. So go ahead and hover over WP Ultimo and then go to Settings and then click Domain Mapping. And by default, everything is basically turned on for what you need for domain mapping. But you can go ahead and confirm that enable domain mapping is turned on and enable custom domains is turned on, and then save settings if you have to. The other thing you need to do to get this to work is to do the integration with WPMU Dev. So hit integrations on the left-hand side, and then go ahead and find WPMU Dev hosting integration, and then click configuration. I go through this more in detail again in that domain mapping video, so check that out if you need that. Okay, next, the real fun part. Let's go ahead and get your payment gateway set up so when people buy their websites, you can get paid for it. So click payments on the left-hand side here while you're still under WP Ultimo settings. And now we have some payment settings. I've noticed that leaving this as default is perfect for most of my needs. All of my plans are recurring monthly subscriptions, so I definitely want to leave on force auto renew. I do not want to allow free trials without them putting in a payment method. But if you wanted to allow that, here's where you would turn that on. And I do want to send an invoice on payment confirmation so they have that for their records. After you're done with that, scroll down to payment gateways. And you've got a lot of options here. My favorite is Stripe, so I'm going to do that in this tutorial. But if you want to allow other payment options, these are the ones available to you. So since I'm going to do Stripe, I'm going to go ahead and switch that on. And then when I do that, I have some Stripe options. For Stripe public name, this is just the name that's going to pop up when they make the payment for what this is. Next, we have Stripe sandbox mode, and this is Stripe's option for testing. So in your Stripe account, you can toggle between testing data and real data. And this is useful because after we build this website and this network, we're going to want to test to make sure everything's working well, which we will do at the end of this tutorial. So for now, we're going to keep this sandbox mode on. But when you're ready to go live, please don't forget to turn this off and put your live keys in here, or else your customers are going to try to pay you and it's not going to come through, and you obviously need to get paid, right? So we're going to keep this switched on for now so we can test everything. And then we have to put your webhook in there, and then we also have to get your keys to go in here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You need a Stripe account. It is free. They charge you per transaction, and they charge you a percentage of each transaction. While I'm recording this video, the current price is 30 cents per transaction and 2.9%. And if you choose to use the billing portal, it might be higher. This is something I'm going to keep turned off for now. I'm probably going to add it on later, but I have plans to do that later on, so I'm not going to mess with it now. If you are using the Stripe billing portal, of course, you can turn it on right here. So after you create your free Stripe account, go ahead and log in. And you're going to see something that looks like this, but without all of your information blurred out. And we're going to want to switch this switch of test mode to on, since that's what we're doing, and we need to view our test data. And now that we're in test mode, we can go ahead and put in that webhook and then get our testing keys. So go ahead and click developers, then click webhooks, and then click add endpoint. To get your endpoint URL, pop back into your WPM Ultimo payment gateway settings, copy this webhook listener URL, go back to Stripe, and then paste it right here. Under select events to listen to, click that, select events, and then I'm going to select all events, and then click add events. And then I'm going to scroll all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, and then click add endpoint. Next, let's get your testing API keys. So click developers again, and then click API keys. Note that you do want to keep these keys secret. It does show one publishable key. I think you can see it, but I always like to be careful. So just keep them all secret. Keep everything secret. You're going to see everything's blurred out in this video, and that's just for safety. So do the same. And remember, when you do put the site live, you're going to redo all of this stuff again, but you're going to toggle out of test data, and you're going to do the live keys and not the test keys. I think you also have to add the webhook back when you're out of test data. I'm not sure. It might already be there. If you go to webhooks and it's there already, you don't have to worry about it. If it's not, go ahead and add it in. So let's go ahead and get these test keys and put them on to your network. So first, let's hover over the publishable key token and click it to copy it. pop back into your Stripe settings in WP Ultimo and paste the publishable key there. Back to Stripe, we're going to have to reveal the secret test key by clicking Reveal Test Key. Hover over that token and click it to copy, and then pop back into your WP Ultimo Stripe settings and then paste it there. And then just go ahead and click Save Settings, and you are done setting that up. Remember, we will be testing this later, but for now, we are all good. So let's go ahead and go to Site Templates next. If you click Sites over here on the left-hand menu list, you're going to have lots of site options, and when you scroll down, you're going to have options for your site templates. Now, I do have another video that goes into site templates more in depth, and I will link that in description. A lot of this is self-explanatory. Personally, I'm going to shut off allowing template switching because I'm scared that my customers are going to do that and then lose their site. So I'm going to shut that off, and then I'm going to click Save Settings. So now let's go ahead and create some site templates. So go ahead and go to Sites under WP Ultimo. And we do have one template site that's already created, and I think this was created when we added in the demo site content. I'm going to go ahead and just delete this and start from scratch. So let's just click Delete here and then click Apply, confirm it, and delete. So what we're doing here with the template sites is I'm going to create 2 different site designs. And when somebody signs up for my network, they're going to be able to choose between the 2 site designs for what their website is going to look like. So to make that happen, I'm going to need a site template for each design. So to do that, click the Add Site button. Go ahead and give your template site a site title. I'm going to probably change these later. So this is a fine name for now, even though it's kind of unoriginal. And then go ahead and put something for the URL. I'll just put design 1, no spaces. And then for site type, we are doing site template, and then we are not copying the site. Then we click Add New Site. And now that that's done, you're going to be able to see it when you hover over My Sites. So what I would do here, usually, if I wasn't doing this tutorial right now, is I would go ahead and view the site and then edit it in the dashboard and design it exactly how I want this site template to look like when it's available to my customers before I put it on the form and made it available to purchase. But if I designed a whole additional website in this tutorial now, it would be a million hours and you guys would hate it. So we can just pretend that this site is designed the way we want it to be designed, because we are going to want to, well, at least in my situation, I want to allow for 2 site templates. And what I would do is I would design the first template and then copy it to the second template so I wouldn't have to redo all the work over again. So if I wanted to do that, I would click the Add Site button to add another site. We're back in Network Admin, by the way, WP Ultimo sites. So we click Add Site, and then this time we could name it Verge Design 2, and then we can do this Design 2 for the path. And then we're going to keep this as site template, but we are going to toggle on the copy site option. And then we're going to choose that other site template as the website we're copying. And then we're going to keep copy media and duplication selected. So everything that gets copied over, and then click Add New Site. Okay, so there we go. If we click into sites, we now have 2 template sites available, and we are going to have to add those to the checkout form, but we will do that later on when we're working with the checkout forms. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some products next. So go to WP Ultimo Products, and these are going to be the monthly recurring plans and the one-time add-ons and free plans also that you could have for your network. Now we've got 3 here because this is the dummy content that we added during the WP Ultimo install. So feel free to look through these. Again, like I said, for multiple things throughout this video, I do have a video that goes more into depth into how the products work with WP Ultimo, and it's going to be linked in the description. So I'm not going to go through everything here, but just so you know, you can have recurring plans that charge your customer every month. You can have free plans, and then you can have add-on services as well. And just like the site templates, I'm actually going to go ahead and delete all of these and start fresh. So for this network I'm making, I'm actually probably only going to have one monthly plan. Now, I might do some add-ons later, but not for network launch. And also, I am going to have a higher priced custom design option. So you know what, maybe I'll make it as a product here in this tutorial so we can see the difference between choosing between two products. But when I make the actual site, when I launch the actual network, I'll probably just put that as like a contact form. Since the setup fee will be so high, they probably won't just want to pay it at a regular checkout form. So for my main product, I'm going to call it the basics, and I'm going to make that the product slug also. We are going to keep the product type as a plan. And up here in the pricing type, we're going to keep that as paid. This is going to be recurring, so we're going to check yes for a recurring charge. And then we're going to make that price, I'm going to do this as $97 every month. Now, obviously, you set this for whatever price makes sense for your business model, for your customers, for your industry. For me, I'm going to do $97 because I'm going to take care of everything. It's not going to be very do-it-yourself for this network I'm making. I have made networks that were more DIY and I did a lower price, but that is not what I'm doing with this one. I am also going to add on a setup fee. So I'm going to toggle that on, and I'm going to put that setup fee at $4.97. Select that, $4.97, and then I'm going to hit Save Product. And then let's take a look at these product options real quick. We're not going to have any up and down grades. Let's see here. I do want to go to Site Templates and look and see what's here. We are going to allow site templates, and I want them to be able to choose from these two that I just created. So I'm going to pick Choose Available Site Templates. And I'm marking all of them as available. Let's see what's under sites. We don't have to do anything about sites. Let's make sure custom domains is good, and that is allowed also. So yeah, now we can go ahead and click Save Product. And now, like I said, even though I'm not going to use it on this network when I launch, we can go ahead and make that other custom product. So click Products on the left under WP Ultimo again. And then when we hover over the product we just made, we can click Duplicate. And then when we're here, we're definitely going to want to change the name. So highlight that and put the new name. And then you're going to also want to do a new product slug. And then this one is going to be, it would be the same monthly payment. It would just be a larger setup fee because it's a custom site. So we're going to go ahead and make that setup fee larger and then click Save Product. So there we go. Now we've got two products. Next, I want to make some discount codes. I think one of the best ways to promote your website as a service network is to do affiliates. And a great way to do that, there is a WP affiliate add-on that you can do. I plan on making a video for that at some point. But if you don't have that add-on, you can just create discount codes. And, you know, there's a million different reasons to create discount codes. So if you click under WP Ultimo, discount codes, and then you can click create a new discount code. So what I'm going to do here is I have a client that works in the industry I'm building this network for, and I'm going to give him a discount code. So when he promotes the network, the people he refers get the first month free. So I'm going to just call this client code for now. I'm going to call the coupon code. You can put the coupon code over here to the right. I'm just going to put client code here. This is going to get, it's just for the tutorial. I'm going to change this later. And then for discount, I'm going to put 100%. So that's going to give 100% discount off the first payment when they sign up. So they get that first month free. And then we're not going to apply it to renewals because we don't want them to get every month free. We just want them to get the first month free. And we're not going to discount the setup fee at all. Note that we do have some other options here. You can limit how many uses this coupon code can be used for. You can set the start and expiration dates, and you can limit what products it's available with. So when we're done with that, go ahead and click Save Discount Code. And we'll test this when we do the form also. Speaking of that, the last thing we have to do before we can test everything is do our checkout forms. So go to WP Ultimo and then checkout forms. And like a lot of things I already said in this tutorial, I do have a checkout forms video which goes more in depth in everything if that's something you're interested in, and it will be in the description. Now, you guys have seen me delete a whole bunch of the demo data, but for the registration form, I am going to keep the registration form that's already there, and I'm just going to click edit and make changes to this form without creating a new one, because a lot of the stuff that we already need is here. So we can just kind of look this over, make sure everything looks good for us, and then go ahead and save it and take a peek at it. So first of all, it does already have the pricing table for plans, so we don't have to add that. But we do have to add a field for our site templates. So go ahead and click Add New Field, and then click Templates. And then it automatically has the 2 templates that we created selected already. I'm going to also toggle on Use All Templates, just because all the templates I made I want available for this. You have the option to hide this field if it was already selected through the URL. And then you can also pick a template selector template. And I'm just going to keep the default clean selected and then put Save Field. And then let's go ahead and move that. We don't want the template selection to be the last thing, right? We'll put it under Plans. And then click Save Checkout Form. And let's click Preview right here. And I'm taking a look at this, and we do have the template selector here. Everything else looks good except for this plan selector is weird. So let's go back to the editor and edit plans. And yeah, that looks weird because we have to add in the products. So let's go ahead and add in the 2 products that we made. And now we can go ahead and save the field. And there's actually one more field we have to add here that I almost forgot about. So go to Add Field again, and we have to put in the coupon code so people can put in their discount codes. So that's what I'm going to name the field label, and then click Save Field. And let's go ahead and move this under like your order, and then click Save Checkout Form. Now let's preview it again. And now we've got the 2 different plan options, the site templates, and we also have a place where we can add in the discount code. So you may be wondering where this form would be on the actual site. So let's head to your main network site. Okay, this is going to be the one that has the domain name that you picked when you set everything up, and go to Dashboard. And then go to Pages, and since we did add the demo content, you should have a page that says Register, and then when you view that page, there's a registration form. Finally, the last thing we need to do before we're all done is to test the network. But we don't want to do it here because we're already logged in here. So what I like to do is I'm going to copy this registration URL, and then I'm going to open it in a new incognito window. And that's where I am now. And I do this to start completely from scratch with no history or anything, so I can do it how it would look for new customers. So, okay, so let's go ahead and test this. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the basics for the plan. And then I'm just going to select a random template. And now I'm going to put in, I have an old email address that I'm going to put in for the email address. And I'm going to put my username, and I'm going to put a password, and you're going to be like, oh, the password is weak, but I'm deleting this account right after I finish this tutorial, so it's not a big deal. Site title, I'll just put testing site. Site URL, I'll just put Nicole's test. And then when we scroll down, we see all the billing info. So everything looks good. Everything matches what we set up for this product. But let's go ahead and test the coupon code. So I'm going to click yes for have a coupon code. And then I'm going to put in the one we made earlier, which was client code. And then let's hit enter. And then it does take it off for the discount, 100% off for the first month. So perfect. That's great. That works. Fantastic to know. Now let's go ahead and we're going to test the payment method and make sure it goes through in Stripe and everything. So Stripe actually has testing card numbers that work for the testing sandbox mode. And one of them is just 424242424242 over and over. And then for the expiration date and the CVC, it is just random numbers. The expiration date has to be later than today. After that, put in your country and put in a zip code. And then click checkout. And it actually yelled at me that that password was too weak. So let me fix that. And let me click checkout again. And oh, it's yelling at me about my username. I think I actually accidentally put a space there. Hang on. Okay, that should be good now. At least we can see how the error codes look, right? And then after we give that a while to set up, we see this confirmation page. And then we have a link where we can go ahead and visit our admin panel. And then from here, we can visit our site. And there we go. Our pretend customer just made a site from our network with their template. So that is fantastic. You did a great job. Now let's take a peek in Stripe and make sure that that went into the Stripe testing account. Okay, so here we are in Stripe in the test mode account, and I can already tell it worked because the balance is high, but to double check, we'll go to payments, and then yep, the first one is exactly it, and we can actually click into that, and then click into the customer, and see that this customer would have another bill automatically coming up on September 16th, so everything worked great. Don't forget when you launch this site to make sure to get your API keys from the live version, get out of test mode, go to developers, API keys, and then in your WP Ultimo payment settings, make sure to turn off Sandbox and put those API keys there. But that's it. We're all done. Your website as a service network is all set up with WP Ultimo, and you can get started on growing your new business. If I was helpful to you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below and I'll help you out. Also, make sure to check the description to get your free download of my 9-step website roadmap, which will guide you through everything you need to make and launch your website from start to finish. Thank you so much for watching.